vehicle back then. It's like you don't hardly see bass fishermen towing with Suburbans anymore, but guys, from about early 90s to the early 2000s, that's what everybody towed with. Everybody towed with a Suburban. And then there was a transition into that. So I used that Suburban up until I lost that deal. Lucky Strike, they sold out, so my deal went away with the demo, so I had to buy a truck. So the next thing I bought, guys, was an H1 Hummer. This was early 2000s. It was not the military model. I did buy a military model. I had an H1 and an H2 Hummer about the same time, early 2000s. And guys, I got to tell you right now, I love that H1 Hummer, that military Hummer. It was the military Hummer. It looked just like the Army Hummer, but it was the civilian model. That thing was freaking awesome. It was not a good tow vehicle because it had a tremendous amount of low end power, but it didn't have any top end speed. The top end speed on that thing was like 60 miles an hour, and it was big and it used a lot of gas. But you talk about something that was built for stout. It was literally like driving a dang tank. You didn't even know that boat was back there as far as the moving with it. I loved driving it. I mean, that was probably my favorite vehicle I had. In fact, there's a picture, and if you look in the thumbnail of this video, there's a picture of me and my dad standing next to that H1 Hummer I had. There's H1 Hummer. The H2 Hummer, let me rephrase that. I got the H2 Hummer, which was the civilian model, about the same time. And guys, that H2 Hummer was a great tow vehicle. It was full-time four-wheel drive, which that was the negative because it used a lot of gas. But it was a heavy, solid vehicle. And even though it was a little bit shorter wheelbase, it was a solid vehicle to tow with. The only thing that I did not like about that was it used a lot of gas. That was a freaking gas hog. I mean, I was getting like 10 miles a gallon with it. So I realized that's just, as much as I traveled around the country, got a thunderstorm rolling in here, that 10 miles a gallon was ridiculous. So I traded that off, and I got my next truck, which was a Chevy 2500 diesel, Duramax diesel Chevy. And I had that for about a year driving it, and guys, I had so many problems with it. I mean, it was just, even though it was a new vehicle, I had it in the shop all the time. I'm sure a lot of guys have had, okay success with the Chevy Duramax diesels. This was a new one. I believe this one, it had like 20,000 miles on when I bought it. It was basically new, but I had a lot of problems with it. And one thing I noticed about it, it didn't turn corner sharp. It's like you had to have a real wide turn to turn it. So I had a lot of problems with that. So I decided to trade it.